Hi guys, welcome to GNR channel. My name is Ginika.
My name is Ramat. This is our first video on YouTube. We're pretty much new to this, so be gentle on us.
Very gentle.
We're going to be talking about different things, pretty much everything, as we see around us, things that relate to our day-to-day life.
Yeah, we're also going to be going to places and critiquing like their services, the ambience of the place, not even just places, general customer service in Nigeria. And it's not just going to be like negative, it's going to be positive and negative. So, on to our topic for today is going to be the hush hush culture. We pretty much grew up here, and we know that a lot of people are very skeptical about talking about certain issues. They either believe people are not going to believe them, or they're just pretty much embarrassed. And they're embarrassed because so many people are so judgmental.
When we say hush hush, I know a few people might still be wondering what exactly does that mean. But it's just this whole culture of, okay, something really terrible has happened, and just because you feel that, like Ginika said, people might not believe you, or you think that if you came out and spoke about it, that people would look at you differently, you tend to just keep it within. So that's what we're going to be pretty much addressing
So the
today.
first thing we're going to talk about is domestic violence. And when people talk about domestic violence, everyone generally thinks of couples. They don't think about siblings or parents abusing their kids, or uncles abusing, aunties abusing their nephews, nieces, things of this. The first one we're going to touch on is parents to kids.
Yes.
A lot of parents actually abuse their children, and they call it discipline.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see any reason why. When I was in secondary school, a friend of mine was telling me about how she did something so little, maybe like stole meat. I don't even think she stole anything, but her mom, but her mom literally used a blade to cut her hand and rub pepper in the injury. Like, I don't really understand what type of. Obviously, the kid is sure as hell not going to do it again. Well, she might have done it again, I don't know. But there's absolutely I don't see any reason why you cannot sternly talk to your kid, or even just give them a spank on the butt. I'm not saying you can't hit your child occasionally, but just know how you hit your kids. Some people chase their children around the house, beating them with belts, sticks, like literally leaving marks all over there. And I don't understand how this is the child you birthed and you feel so comfortable hitting your child like this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're not saying that we are Oyibo people. We're not saying, go and sit in the corner. Nobody's saying that. We didn't grow up with our parents telling us, go and sit in the corner. And I have nieces and nephews, and I don't tell them, go and sit in the corner. I talk to them really sternly, and I sometimes a little smack on the bottom. I feel that's needed sometimes, but the whole idea of leaving marks and just literally injuring that kid,
Exactly.
I feel like that's a bit extreme. I just feel like maybe we're not trying to teach parents out there how to raise their kids, but it's just things like this sometimes don't have the effect that you're looking for, because it gets to a point, that the kid just says, okay, what's the worst she can do? So yeah, she's already cut my hand, and she's already hit me several times, so what else can she do? I'll just go ahead and
rebels.
They just hopefully, if you're out there, you're listening to us, and your parents beat you like this, I'm hoping that it's just one of them, and you can maybe talk to the other one, to talk to if it's the mom that's exactly. So, and also just try as much as possible to avoid doing things that will lead to that as well. So it's not just.
You see, so that's another thing. Because now, as soon as you said that, I literally just thought of couples. Yeah. When a guy abuses his wife, and then they say, try not to do anything.
Oh no! So this is obviously different. Like, for a child, try as much as possible to avoid things that will upset your parents. Obviously, there's no excuse to putting your child in the hospital. There's absolutely, there are other ways to discipline a child. Yeah. But when you talk about couples, that's another thing entirely. At the end of the day, first of all, you're not even my father. So You should not even be raising your voice.
Bring this back to the whole hush hush culture thing.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about the kids now, kids that their parents beat, and and like I remember one story about my friend that the mom used something to break his head, and then they went to the hospital, and the mom was like, obviously that he should lie and say it was something else. But my thing is, and I'm sure there's so many kids like that, you see like scars on their bodies, and they say, oh, they fell, oh, they all this, and I'm just thinking, if they even tell their teachers at school, do you think it would make? Because abroad you do that, and then they report to
social services. But in Nigeria, if you told your teacher, just imagine the scenario: a teacher calls up a parent and says, "Oh, hello. So, your daughter just told me that you flogged the living daylight out of her. Why?" The mother is going to say, "Mind your business. You have kids. Exactly. It's because you don't have kids that you're talking to me like this. Am I your mate?" We're so quick to be on the defensive, especially when we know that we've done something. I don't feel like teachers rather in Nigeria will be comfortable calling up a parent and telling them off about hitting their own kids. Because I feel like parents would just come at them and even probably threaten to withdraw the kids out of school, or go to principals to say, how can you be talking to me in such manner, blah blah blah, especially if they're influential. So I feel like no, I don't think that would work yet in Nigeria.
Well, I guess maybe if the kid has, I'm sure everyone has like a favorite auntie or uncle. I'm not sure that there's much. I'm not sure. Obviously, the auntie or uncle is not going to come and pull the kid out of their parents' house or something. But I'm pretty sure there's some type, or maybe they'll talk to it, but just something. But it's okay to tell people what you're going through, because getting hit every day, as in, it's not even just physical, it's mental as well. It affects you over time. And obviously there are some that are not that bad, but there are some families that actually kick and like they want to kill the child. Absolutely. On top of it.
I mean, I know this is fiction, and I don't need to go on and on, but even Purple Hibiscus, how the father, in the name of religion and the name of culture, used to beat the mother, beat the kids, and they would land in hospital, Gara, and and at the end of the day, they'll come up with a cock and bull story as to how they got there. Okay, I fell, and that is just a typical example of what a lot of people are going through.
Exactly.
And they don't think to say it. And if I don't know if you've read the book, but it's actually a very good book. You should read it if you haven't. And it's just one of those books where, like Ginika said, they had this auntie, and they spoke to her. She kind of showed them that that's not how your life should be. Okay, It's not okay. Just because it's your day-to-day life does not make it okay. So there's always someone that you can talk to, and I really hope that you find that person if you're going through something like this.
Yes, I was even just thinking like how some fathers hate their daughters so bad, and the moms will be like, that's how a man shows you he loves you or whatever, and then women actually grow up believing that their husband hitting them is okay, and it shows.
I've had a conversation before where this girl said, so we're talking about how it's not cool to beat up your girlfriend or your wife, because this is actually very big in I'm going to say London specifically, where Niger boys beat their girlfriends. Oh my god, so many. So it's very, very common. And I was having this conversation with my fam. Well, we was a group of us, and this girl said, "Oh, but how do you know he's a man if it does not show you that he's strong?" As I know, a man can show you that he's strong. A man can show you that he can defend you. She didn't even say beat. She was like, if he scolds me from time to time, like if he disciplines me from time to time, it just shows that he's a man. I was like, my dear, no. That just shows that he wants to abuse you. Like, because you're going to have children, you're going to have this kind of mentality, you're going to bring more children into this world, teach them exactly that, and then they're going to think it's okay for them to just be, on the side, like they don't matter. There are certain things that are just not right, and you shouldn't live your life believing that they are.
I was going to talk about couples couples actually. So you know how in Nigeria, like weddings are such a huge thing, and it's more than obvious that a lot of people it's more than obvious that a lot of people pay more attention to the wedding as opposed to the marriage. So many people are so unhappy in their marriages. Your husbands are cheating, beating you, blah blah. So this is not where. So you know how I said initially, I started by saying hush hush, it's because either people don't believe you, it's because you're embarrassed. People are so judgmental. People are in these marriages suffering, and you'll be putting your big rock on Instagram, that's a hobby of life, this, that one, just because of what people will say. There's no need to suffer. Like, as in, at the end of the day, you're still going to, like, Instagram or like social, the outside world doesn't come into your home with you. It's just you and your husband.
It shouldn't even matter what the opinion of you is. If you're not my family member, and even as my family member, act right. That's the only way that you get to have an opinion as to what I'm doing in my life. Like, so I'm talking nuclear family, and I'm talking really, really tight friends that I know for a fact that they have my interest at heart. If you're a religious person, spiritual person, pray about it.
Yes.
If you are someone that believes in counseling, go for counseling. Find a way to make your home better, as opposed to trying to, put up this front like absolutely nothing is happening, because at the end of the day, these people won't help you. Who is Instagram don't help you.
So guys, I think we've said quite a lot today,
and we still have more to say.
It's way too much. Like, I hope you're not bored just yet.
Fuck that. 12 bottles in the case, nigga.